Now tonight on To The Point, we bring you an exclusive one-on-one with Honorable Martha Karua as she unveils her memoir, Against the Tide. And in this candid conversation, she opens up about the inspiration behind the book, her reflections on leadership and the resilience it takes to stand firm in the face of challenges that will be coming later on To The Point. But first, as it is our custom right here, let's take a look at the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, government promises to address issues raised by Catholic bishop.
Tunapokea maoni ya wananchi, maoni ya kanisa, maoni ya vikundi visivyo vya serikali.
Among the issues being the Social Health Authority SHA.
Tumpatie muda. Hii ni ya kusaidia sisi wote kama Wakenya. Haitabagua mtu yoyote.
Also tonight, former DP Rigathi Gachagua now tells President William Ruto to lower taxes for Kenyans if he was the problem in government.
Ama Rigathi Gachagua ndiye alikuwa shida, ndio mlikuwa mnaweka ushuru ikuwe juu, mpunguze sasa vile ametoka.
Plus, Moi University Error.
If somebody is say to have stolen 8.2 billion, that one you can even see.
From 26 million gated donkeys to replace tractors and $1 billion apple farm, we tell you the sad state of Moi University. And banditry leads to closure of more than 10 schools in West Pokot. Welcome to this live broadcast. We are live from our TV47 headquarters right here in Nairobi. 22047 is our SMS line. My name is Anne Odida and Catherine Simaloi is our sign language interpreter tonight. We are live on our social media platforms at TV47KE on Facebook, TV47 Kenya on YouTube and TV47 News KE on X. The hashtag is To The Point. Let's get started. Now, President William Ruto has pledged to work with all stakeholders for the fruitful implementation of the Social Health Authority SHA. This comes days after members of the Kenya Catholic Conference of Bishops called on the government to pay debts owed by the defunct NHIF, besides fulfilling all the campaign pledges made ahead of the 2022 polls. And as Mike Kagwango reports, the government wants Kenyans to be patient as it implements universal health coverage.
President William Ruto has called on Kenyans to be patient as he worked towards implementing UHC, days after Catholic bishops demanded that he put his house in order, in as far as assuring Kenyans of quality and affordable health is concerned.
Tumebadilisha tukasema matibabu sio ya watu wenye uwezo. Matibabu ni kila mtu ambaye anaweza kuwa mgonjwa. Hakuna mtu anapiga hodi ati akuwe mgonjwa. Kuna mtu anatamani kuwa mgonjwa.
The bishops demanded that the government pays on to faith-based health institutions by the defunct NHIF. Speaking during a Sunday service at the Soweto Catholic Church in Kayole, President Ruto said his administration will work with all the relevant stakeholders to ensure SHA becomes a success, sentiments echoed by his deputy Kithure Kindiki.
Yale alisema na viongozi wetu wa dini, mimi nimewaambia, we will work with every stakeholder to make sure that this affordable health, universal health coverage succeeds.
Utawala huu ama serikali iliyopo sasa haina vita vyovyote na kanisa. Sisi tunajua ya kwamba serikali za kiulimwengu, serikali za hapa ulimwenguni zinaongozwa na wanadamu.
Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Mulongo on her part assured Kenyans that the National Health Insurance Fund NHIF is on track to clear its outstanding bills with 19 billion shillings owed to health service providers over a period of exceeding 10 years.
The Social Health Authority is just 44 days old, but we are really looking into building capacity to have equipment, to have medications, and to have good services all over Kenya so that our population can have quality, accessible and affordable services.
Speaking after a tour of Kapenguria County Referral Hospital, Mulongo confirmed that 5 billion shillings had already been paid. And by the end of next week, a further 2.5 billion shillings will be disbursed. Mulongo says by the end of November, all contracted facilities across the country will receive their first disbursements under the newly implemented Social Health Authority scheme.
We had a bill of 19 billion and we have been able to pay 5 billion, and another 2.5 billion is coming in the coming weeks. And by the end of this month of November, all the contracted facilities will be receiving their first Social Health Authority payment.
Meanwhile, several leaders, among them Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, have urged Kenyans who are yet to register with SHA to do so.
Social Health Authority ama mambo ya afya sio mambo ya kungojea mpaka siku utakuwa mgonjwa uone kwa macho ya kuwa SHIF inafanya kazi. Jisajili ili kwa imani wakati utakuwa mgonjwa, Mungu akikuponya utakuwa na mtu wa kulipa bill ya hospitali.
However, a host of senators have slammed President William Ruto, accusing him of failing to listen to the Catholic bishops. They spoke at a church service at Good Shepherd Catholic Church in Mwingi Town. Mike Kagwango, TV47.
Now tonight in our special feature, we unravel a web of alleged corruption and mismanagement at Moi University. The institution's top brass now finds itself under the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission's radar over allegations of spearheading multi-billion shillings tenders and irregularities in ghost projects. Investigators allege billions of public funds have been siphoned from the university's coffers through these questionable deals. Lennox Sengre brings us the chilling details. Take a look.
Moi University, the second oldest university in Kenya. Established in 1984, Moi is known for its academic excellence and research. 6 years ago, the university was ranked second in Kenya after University of Nairobi, fourth in East Africa, number 2006 globally in university ranking by Academic Performance URAP. Despite their accolades, a dark shadow hangs over the institution. Allegation of blatant corruption, mismanagement, and outright impunity threaten the existence of the institution named after Kenya's second president, Daniel Moi. According to the stakeholders, this once academic giant is on its deathbed.
The consequences of this university collapsing will be there to everyone. The businesses in Eldoret, the community around here, and even the whole region. When this university collapses, it will create a vacuum, which will crush all other businesses around. No one, including the president himself, can allow that.
Like many other public universities in Kenya, Moi University is facing financial difficulties, with its debts exceeding 10 billion shillings. Signs that all is not well at the university starts right at the gate of Moi University main campus, Eldoret. The cash-strapped university can, however, afford to construct a gate at a staggering cost of 30 million shillings. This project and many others drew the attention of Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, who summoned the university leadership to clear allegations that procurement laws were not followed.
It's a BQ done by experts. Looking at 26 million, and it's a signature gate. And you know, the number of students, the students like associating with good things, isn't it? Because the way we were very dull before the new gate. The 26 million cannot pay the lecturers. Okay, we need 4 or 3 million every month to pay the lecturers. Yeah, so while we are focusing on the 26 million, there's a larger picture of the 403 million every month to pay my lecturers.
In a letter dated October 28, 2004, EACC detectives are now closing in Moi University embattled Vice-Chancellor Professor Isaac Sanga Kosgei for allegedly embezzlement linked to the exaggerated gate project. Another letter dated 2nd August from the VC, Professor Kosgei, shows an elusive process between the VC and the EACC to supply the documents. Another letter dated 1st October 2024 by the EACC as a reminder to the VC shows another elusiveness to provide details to the alleged shady deals at the institution. People out there know you as a very corrupt person. Are you corrupt?
I'm not, and as I said, if there is that allegation, please come prove. We have government agencies that deal with such things. We have the EACC, we have the DCI. And if I was corrupt, so people even say I have 100 acres of tea that I stole money from workers. I don't. And you can always see if somebody is say to have stolen 8.2 billion. That one you can even see, isn't it? Yeah, you can see. So I'm not, and I'm not party to corruption. I've never been.
And the way out is to look for resources from Nairobi. So every week, a team of management, they are about between 7 and 10. They are traveling between Eldoret and Nairobi. Each person has what is called a per diem. Each person is flown to Nairobi, is put up in a hotel, and then brought back to Eldoret weekly. They go on a weekly basis. So by Monday, they are flying to Nairobi. They are there maybe up to Thursday, Friday. They are earning the per diem per day. They are flown back to Eldoret. They are around again, and they tell you we are going back to Nairobi. So that is for the last about almost 10 weeks. Almost 10 weeks they are between Eldoret and Nairobi. So they are living very comfortably. These workers are not earning salaries, but these people are getting that daily allowance, subsistence allowance, and everything is taken care of. I hear somebody saying that some people are making about 400,000 weekly from their per diem, and the workers are suffering. If that is not corruption, then there's another name to it. In other words, they are enjoying that transport to and from while the people are suffering.
Professor Kosgei denies corruption claims in an exclusive interview with TV47, insisting he will not resign even as the university crumbles like a shell shrouded in a scandal and secrecy. Our investigations reveals glaring irregularities surrounding the university gate construction. A source close to the dealing behind the gate project, referred to us at Chelengat due to the sensitive nature of the matter, has disputed stated value, further exposing the questionable dealings.
Up to now, we are still waiting for there's some retention money for the gate. That one was also raised, not yet paid.
So 30 million can construct such a gate? From where you sit?
I don't think so.
Asked why the university would spend such an amount of money to build a gate where not even a fence exists.
It's a signature gate. And you know, the number of students, the students like associating with good things, isn't it?
These are throughways into the institution with academic giants who are not protected with a 30 million worth of a gate. Inside the technically insolvent university, the situation appears dire. The broken windows, crumbling walls, structures on the verge of collapse, a clear indication of the rot. Forget the gate and the dilapidated infrastructure. The university recently procured 11 donkeys to replace its aging fleet of tractors. Insiders who spoke on condition of anonymity say the school bought the donkeys since it cannot afford to fuel the tractors.
The university bought donkeys. And, at one time, this university used to have tractors because of the land that they were plowing. Now today, Moi University is buying donkeys. They are somewhere down there. I'm told there are 11 donkeys. So from tractor to donkeys.
Bid perhaps to show up revenues, the university attempted to start a dog breeding business, importing German Shepherd dogs, allegedly at an exaggerated cost. Our independent verification shows all the 11 dogs are male.
Now bought dogs. I'm told they bought 10 dogs. You ask me, I don't know whether the dogs are to guard the apples or whatever, but when you look at the costs of the dogs, that is when you realize that there's something that is not quite.
During an investigation tour of the university, members of parliament also accused the university leadership of initiating multi-million Apple project to generate income for the university. According to the VC, the 600 million project in 100 hectares vast land is supposed to generate 78 billion shillings.
Kama maneno ya Moi mahali mvua ilikuwa imeanza kutunyeshea, niseme ni hiyo wakati wa corona. Wakati wa corona vile ilifika, hapo ilikuwa imepata kama management mpya imeingia na council mpya. Wakasema casuals waende kwa shamba, tukaandikiwa memo twende kwa shamba. Kuna shamba ingine chini ya apple farm, wanaita apple farm. Kwa hii shamba tulikuwa tunalazimishwa unachimba mashimo. Nilikuwa wakati ukame, unatafuta maji, una soak chini kabisa, ndio at least uweze kufanya nini, ndio uweze kuchimba shimo. So wamama walikuwa wanawekewa wachimbe 8, 6. I worked there for 3 days. So pale wamama wachimbe shimo na nikulipwa half day. Ni watu wote, wanaume walikuwa wanachimba 10. Ilifika mahali wakapunguza, wanaume wachimbe 10, wamama wachimbe 6. Malipo ni half day. Tukaweka aside. Sasa kama 2023 tukafanya kazi month 1, 2, 3 mpaka ikafika 6 months. Hakuna mshahara, hakuna mwenye ana communicate kuambia hii mshahara imechelewa kwa sababu ya ABCD. So watu walikuwa naogopa, hakuna mtu angeuliza. By that time tulikuwa na leader wetu alikuwa anaitwa Bargoria, yeye alishawacha kazi. So Bargoria aliogopa kwa sababu alikuwa ametishwa. Alikuwa ametishwa kwa sababu ukiuliza nini hapo naambia utakuliwa na mnyama. So our boss Mr. Sanga akiingia alitutisha na mnyama, akasema kuna mnyama ukipiga kelele itafanya nini, itakukula. So imefika wakati tukasema hiyo mnyama ifanye nini, itukule. Isitoshe maneno ya salary, working conditions zenye ziko huko Moi ni mbaya. Wale cleaners wenye wana clean wanakuwa forced sana. Kuna wale lazima pavement wenye wanafagia pavement, wanakata branches ndio wafagie nao barabara. Haya, hakuna protective gears wenye wanaosha hata toilets. Ama wenye utaenda kuosha toilet hivyo without gloves, hauna mop, hujapewa mop, hakuna sabuni, una expect toilet ikuwe safi. Haiwezi kuwa safi. Hakuna kitu yoyote, hata kama ni mtu amekuwa mgonjwa, kwa sababu wenye wanaosha hizo toilet ama wanafanya hizo kazi zenye ziko at risk, hakuna hata dawa unaweza pewa. Kuna wale walijaribu wakakaa hiyo 6 months na wakaenda nyumbani, waliwacha kazi. Na kuna wenye walijaribu kutetea haki yao, wakakuja, inasemekana ati wakuuliza kwa njia mzuri, wakafutwa. Around 40 people walifutwa kazi kwa sababu wanauliza haki yao. Nilihurumia, kulikuwa na couple fulani hapo, bibi na bwana, wote ni casuals. Wanapata barua, wanaanguka. Huyu ana faint huko, huyu ana faint huko. Na kuna mwenye anajali, hawakujali. Walienda nyumbani na wanaenda nyumbani hivyo, mkono mtupu hivyo. Saa hii ya mnyama, wakati alikuja akakuwa VC. So alikuwa anajaribu kusikia watu. Akapeana story akisema huko kwao kulikuwa na mnyama. Sasa huyu mnyama, sijui kama ni zamani gani, I don't know. Sasa ati huyu mnyama, watu walikuwa wakipiga kelele, mnyama anakukula. So hii mnyama ilikuwa ni jina ya kusikia watu. Sasa akafika hapa Moi, yeye ndiye akakuwa mnyama. Kuna watu walipigwa transfer kwa sababu tu ya kutetea haki. Alikuwa chairman wa Kudhea, alijaribu kupiga kelele akitetea watu. Sijui kama walikuwa na differences yao, sijui, but kulingana na vile tunasikia kwa ground, alikuwa anatetea casuals. Alipigwa transfer aende Mombasa. Ilikuwa tu ukijaribu kusema ufanye hivi, saidia watu, fanya hivi, unapigwa transfer. Malindi, Mombasa. Sasa sijui kama huko pia kulikuwa na Moi University, tunasikia tunapigwa transfer. Mahali hakuna hata nyumba, hakuna nini, but kuna shamba ya Moi. Sasa huyu alikuwa ni kama security. So unapigwa transfer uende mahali kuna msitu. Huyu jamaa kuenda, si kazi ilikwisha. So mnyama ni yeye. Ukipiga kelele, unaenda, unafutwa, ama unapigwa transfer. Si ati ni mnyama literally ya kukula mtu. Mnyama ilikuwa ni yeye. Sasa alikuwa anatutisha na mnyama.
Without the benefit of doubt or doubting Thomas, those who are touting that the apple farm is making a loss. No, I disagree with them. This is a tree. It was planted last 2022, and now it is just 3 years. Now give us 2 years, and then you will see how many apples are you going to get. We are also need to improve on the feeding in terms of fertilizer, maybe manure. And it will increase the revenue for the university in the next 2 years. It is a long-term investment. It is not something that you do it short-term. The apple farm we are having in Moi University, it will assist the generation to come, because this tree for the apple, it takes around 50 years. You will maximize the profit at least after 5 years. It is a tree.
So far, we've used 60 million. That's about 100 acres plus of apples. And infrastructure, related infrastructure, because apples require a lot of water. So there is a triple irrigation system. There is a borehole. We also did a dam. So basically, and we are looking at the high value crop. We import 95% of our apples from South Africa, from Egypt, Israel. And we were looking at, in the terms of sustainability going forward, how do you get a crop that gives you several millions going forward? 100 acres will give you 78 billion. Okay? Yeah, 78 billion in that 100 acres. Our budget is 7 billion, maximum 9. So you can see in the future, this university will have more money than it needs. And our aspiration was, in the future, we'll be able to even support the exchequer through A&A once we have done with our own infrastructure here, investments here.
The alleged procurement irregularities don't end there. EACC is also probing a bloated payroll with the claims that there are 1,800 ghost workers at the university. The university also has a bloated workforce, with some of our investigations reveal receiving less than the salary recorded with the Kenya Revenue Authority KRA. Cherop, not her real name, is paid 8,000 by the university. She learned recently that her actual salary is 90,000 after visiting the local KRA offices after she got a call demanding tax arrears.
Pale Moi University miaka 10 kama mtu wa casual. na mshahara yangu ni shilingi 8,000. Juzi nimeitwa na watu wa KRA. Mimi hata sijui KRA iko wapi, lakini nimeitwa juzi na watu wa KRA na wakaniambia niende kwa ofisi yao kuwaona huko Eldoret. Nikaenda huko Eldoret na wakaniuliza mbona mimi sijazi fomu ya kulipa ushuru, na nikawaambia sielewi ushuru vile inakatwa kwa mshahara. Wakaniambia kama mshahara yako inapita shilingi 25,000 lazima ulipe ushuru, na mimi nikawaambia mshahara yangu ni kidogo sana, ninapata shilingi 8,000 kwa mwezi. Lakini walinishtua kwa sababu wakati wakanionyesha makaratasi kusema mshahara yangu ni 90,000 kwa mwezi. Nimeshtuka sana, na inaonekana mimi nalipwa kama casual, nalipwa shilingi 8,000 na kuna mtu anachukua shilingi 82,000 kwa mshahara yangu. Kwa hivyo hii miaka yote nimefanya kazi na Moi University, kuna mtu huwa anachukua pesa kiasi hiyo kutoka kwa mshahara yangu na mimi wananipea 8,000.
Our sources claim local politicians have been coercing the university to employ their people, creating an unsustainable payroll loaded with ghost workers.
The university is overstaffed. I think it's a political situation when every politician would come from the area, would come with his employees and demand they be employed, and the management would employ them. So the end result is that we have a bloated workforce. There are some employees who probably may not be required, but most important is what you have said, ghost workers.
The university leadership is also under the radar of the EACC over procurement irregularities. Billions of shillings are tied up in a number of stalled projects. For instance, a construction company received a 1.2 billion shilling tender for the construction of Annex Campus Library Phase 2 in Eldoret. The multi-billion tender construction that was awarded does not even exist. Surprisingly, the same company that was awarded a 1.2 billion was awarded 726 million shillings tender to complete the construction of the School of Public Health, Dentistry and Nursing situated in Eldoret. This project is not under construction.
Those are just allegations because the tendering process is clear for every project. Yeah, so there's nothing like a shortcut in any way.
Moi University was in the process of constructing an innovation center worth 228 million shillings. This project also stalled, allegedly due to embezzlement of funds.
Requesting for some cash from the client, but being the World Bank is the donor, they have to channel the money to the client first, who is the Moi University, and then Moi University will give the main contractor the amount that they are requested. Yeah.
So the money that was channeled by the World Bank, was it paid to you?
No, it was not paid.
Another stalled project is the construction of an amphitheater. This construction, according to the investigators, was paid for but stalled midway. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, as well as the Parliamentary Education Committee, has been probing this matter for some time now in an attempt to save the university.
When we've walked around this university and what we've heard from the workers is a clear testimony of total mismanagement in the university. I don't want to mince my words there.
Early November this year, the Parliamentary Committee on Education visited Moi University, giving stakeholders a chance to air their views on the state of the university. A week later, a number of lecturers and non-teaching staff who spoke boldly during the visit have since been sent home. Through the letter seen by TV47, the institution is accusing them of incitement.
That is how ruthless our employer is. Our employer is sometimes very insensitive and sometimes very punitive. You know, they will punish employees for a small thing. And that is why today you heard us speak, and I think you saw the sentiments of the crowd, that one of the best things that must happen to Moi University is this management must be replaced, all of it. The Vice-Chancellor and his team must all go. The Council and the whole team of Council must all go. It is only then that we can start working with people who understand how an academic institution should be run. Professor Koskei is doing his 7th year in Moi University. He finished his first term, and our feeling was that his term should never have been renewed. The Vice-Chancellor served for five years. So he finished the first term, and from the experience that we had with him, it was our feeling that he should never had a renewal of contract. Against all the wisdom, against all wise counsel, his contract was extended. Professor Koskei runs a ruthless management system. There are different management styles, and this one of Moi University is one which believes in punish the worker so that you can get the most out of them. Do not engage them, do not give them leeway to be comfortable, push them, punish them, make their life very difficult so that they can perform their duties. Moi University has about 800 academic staff, 800 and something. Over the last 3 or so years, staff working in Moi University have received 360 letters warning them. This is what is called shock letters. In a working environment, your employer probably gives you do something that is wrong, you are given a first warning, probably a second warning, and a third time. This is most of the human resource manuals say this, that we give you a warning, that means that slightly below 50% of the employees have received shock letters, just slightly below half. That is something that is almost unimaginable. Either these people are terrible at their work, or there's something terribly wrong with the system.
Very supportive, particularly looking at my deputies, looking at people who are below me. I normally build their capacity. And we have make decisions as a management, not as a VC. Every Monday, we have a management to look at all things of the university. Of course, we can have special meetings to look at emerging issues and urgent issues, but I've never run the institution as a single person. There's nothing like people believe sometimes in being talked to a lot of things. But for me, I normally analyze things before I talk. And maybe that's a point of departure for many people, because, other people like cheating. Me, I don't. Yeah, I just tell the truth, and that's it.
According to the letter seen by TV47, the EACC is investigating a total of 1,800 ghost workers at Moi University. According to the EACC, records of all university staff since July 1st, 2018 are under scrutiny. The rot runs deep, with senior officials named in the alleged corruption deals having so far been grilled by the EACC. According to the paperwork seen by TV47, a total of 10 senior officers at Moi University have been grilled by the EACC regarding the embezzlement of funds at the institution. These include Joshua Mwiti, who is Quality Assurance at Moi University, Dr. Kashod Laimeyan, who is Senior Finance Officer, Rispa Bigen, Veronica Bor, who is a Purchasing Officer, Dr. Patrick Limo, who is Head of Department, Professor Joel Kibi, who is an Associate Dean, Professor Joseph Chemboi, who is Associate Dean, School of Business, Naomi Morogo, who is a clerk, CPA Andrew Kipchoge, who is a Senior Accountant, and Dennis Chepkwony, who is Senior Purchasing Officer. The 10 are allegedly being accused of pocketing proceeds of crime in the ongoing probe into shady deals. The The investigators are also investigating the possibility that some of the construction companies are linked to politicians. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Isaac Kosgei, denies corruption allegations, vowing to stay put and continue leading the university.
Why should I? Because unless there is something proven against me, that would require me to resign, then if it is done, it's fine, I can resign. But as it is now, I have nothing to, to cause me to do that. Yeah.
Apart from the financial hardships facing the university, political interference is also seen as one of the factors contributing to the challenges facing the Moi University. In 2016, sitting governors Jackson Mandago of Uasin Gishu County, Alex Tolgos of Elgeyo Marakwet, and MP Oscar Sudi of Kapsaret from Rift Valley stormed Moi University, protesting to the appointment of Professor Labanairo as the institution's acting vice-chancellor. They instead wanted Professor Kosgei to be appointed. Professor Kosgei says his appointment was above board.
When we came for interviews that were advertised in 2015, I emerged number one. Okay? And then, of course, the former VC Mibei left office and Laban came in. He's a friend of mine. We serve in a number of committees together. You have heard of Kenneth, for example. I'm the chair of the board of Kenneth that provides internet to all universities, colleges, hospitals. And he's my board member, and he's in charge of the audit committee. So we've never had any difference. I think people just imagine that and I didn't know him before. So I think when we came again in 2017, that is when he was part of the interview. Previously, he wasn't there. And again in 2017, with a different council. That was a different council led by Kinyamario, Professor Kinyamario. When we came to this 2017, there was a totally new council. And I was the first to enter the room, and I became number one again. Yes, twice. Yeah. So I've never participated in anything against anybody. You've never seen me talk bad about anybody at all. Yeah. So sometimes I think those are just wild imaginations.
As the investigation into allegations of corruption and mismanagement continue, students at the university remain uncertain of their future. Some will delay their graduation, while others, like first years, will wait to step into a lecture room a little longer.
Yeah, niliripoti the 26th August. Sasa venye tuliingia tu hivyo, hapo hiyo first week ilikuwa tu hizo nini admission. Second week hapo tukaanza orientation. Sasa venye tulianza tu orientation, ikaenda tu hivyo kidogo kidogo, au maleko akaanza tu mgomo mdogo. Bado tumekalishwa tu shule, hatukuambiwa chochote, tuliambiwa tu tusubiri, mambo itakuwa sawa. Kaendelea tu hivyo kidogo kidogo, mastaff pia wakaanza mgomo. Sasa ikaenda tu hivyo, ikafika time ma comrades pia wakasema tunataka masomo. Tunataka tuambiwe tutaanza masomo lini. Sasa ikaenda tu hivyo, ndo sama comrades wakasema wanapanga strike. Of which your strike ilifaa ikuwe on Friday. Sasa before your strike ikuwe, Thursday wakatoa memo ati tunaenda mtaa. Na tumepewa 15 minutes kaa uko hostel, utoe vitu zako, uende.
The World Bank has since issued a disclaimer letter to TV47, distancing itself from funding key projects at Moi University. The letter states, in part, this center was funded by the government of Kenya, not the World Bank. The question is no longer how much would it cost to construct such a gate, but rather someone somewhere listening to the cries from this institution. Lennox Sangre, TV47, Moi University, Eldoret.
shocking scenes right there from Moi University. Thank you so much, Lennox, for bringing us up to speed with the challenges facing Moi University. And let me just sample some of your comments on that story before we take a very fast short break. And we have Blasio comment right here saying, so Moi University administration chooses to buy donkeys to replace tractors. What a joke. Do we realize where the potential of our nation lies? It lies in our academic and training institutions, yet we are completely ignoring it. Honorable Julius Migos, you need to act and act. And we have Rajini Nicholas here saying that story about the collapsed Moi University is very detailed and at the same time sad. People have literally lost their livelihoods and no learning is taking place. First years have never stepped in class. Moi University was once an academic giant. Of course, we will be following up on that story to also bring you up to speed with everything happening over that side. Let's take a very fast short break at this point. So much more lined up for you. Stay with us.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips. And the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching TV47 Weekend Edition. Let's continue with our coverage. Now, an unprecedented public appearance has set tongues wagging into the political future of the Mount Kenya region, where President William Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua shared the same platform on Saturday, the leaders attending the consecration and installation ceremony of Bishop Peter Kimani Ndungu in Embu County. And as Moi William now reports, it is the reception of different leaders to the event by the thousands of Kenyans lifting the lead into the political matrix within the vote-rich region.
Scenes at the grounds of the University of Embu, exposing the political tumor growing each passing day. The consecration and installation ceremony of Peter Kimani as the Catholic Bishop Diocese of Embu turned to be a political battleground, with the troops taking their respective positions. Handshakes, smiles and shoulder patting, with the melodious Catholic choir singing to the lyrical hymn of Amani Cristo. President William Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President Kithure Kindiki exchanged pleasantries together with other leaders in the VIP dais. Amidst the congregations, sidelined, together with a clique of legislators allied to him, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua pensively watched the proceedings away from the main dais as his former political associates immersed themselves to the trappings of power. Despite protocol dictating a former president or deputy president to be seated in the VIP dais, although Gachagua making to the event early, through the muddy aisle made it to the front row of the congregants' dais, with only a recognition being accorded to him.
I would also like at this moment also to recognize our former deputy president, who is also here.
Was it by omission or commission that Gachagua found himself in the midst of the gathering? Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, Gachagua's predecessor, tasked with inviting top national leaders to the podium, avoided recognizing Gachagua's presence.
And neither should we reduce it to a competition between Kindiki and Gachagua. No. Kindiki is a deputy president. Gachagua is a former deputy president. Okay? The two are different. One has a job to do, another one has a ground work to do.
Political pundits opine the Saturday events exposed what is to be expected within the political arena in the Mount Kenya region in coming days.
The truth is Mount Kenya people are not happy. Absolutely so. And to change is not easy.
The build-up is likely to be growing of resentment. What it will turn out to, we don't know.
A congregation bursting into cheers as former President Uhuru Kenyatta took the podium.
Asante sana.
Perhaps an indication of the influence he still holds within the region.
Vile tumesema bishop wa waheshimu, nyinyi mutarudisha hiyo. So viongozi pia muheshimu wananchi na watarudisha hiyo heshima.
The significant Catholic Church event coming to an end without Gachagua getting an opportunity to utter even greetings. His departure from the grounds were marked with an ecstatic crowd waving him goodbye. Later, he took to his socials, thanking the people of Embu for what he described as the love and warm reception, signing off his message with "I love you too."
If the Mount Kenya people refused to Uhuru their own son, until he had to do a lot of work to try to convince them, and with Martha Karua there as running mate to Raila, do you think you can turn the Mount Kenya people from facing Mount Kenya?
President William Ruto hinted at making more visits to the region in the coming year, where already Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has set camp Sunday, spending time in Kirinyaga during a church service.
You know, the people of the mountain can laugh with you. But when the time comes, they will not vote with you. They'll just give the person they want.
The game of chess continues in Kenya's political arena. Kenyans now wondering if Uhuru's public appearance at the Embu event signals a return of the country's fourth president into the high-octane politics. Moi William, TV47.
Now, the fate of learners, teachers and locals at Low Nyangalem Primary School in Ombolion area in North Pokot Sub-County in West Pokot County hangs in the balance as bandits continue striking, vandalizing and stealing school property. In this story that was produced by Andrew Juma, more than 10 schools have been closed for over 2 years due to banditry. Take a look.
For about 2 hours drive from Kapingoria town, we arrive at Loyangalem Primary School. The school is closed, abandoned, and properties at the school vandalized by bandits allegedly from the neighboring county of Turkana. The situation has gone from bad to worse since May 2023, when the school was shut down due to perennial attacks and killings in the area. Raiders also cutting off power at the school, a situation that has made learners unable to stay. This has not stopped despite learners and teachers being out of the institution as raiders continue ambushing the school.
Sasa light zikakosa kwa mashule, sasa ikawa ni giza. Sasa hofu hiyo ndio ikaleta utata kwamba wakati sasa imetagetiwa waya za stima zimemolewa, taa hakuna, security light hakuna, nini inapangiwa kwa wachangili wakati imekuwa giza. Sasa hapo ndio ilifanya watu kuokopa watoto yao kuja shule na watoto pia kuokopa kuja shule.
Shule 7 wamefunga sahi. Ni shida ile imechangia ni mambo ya mapunduki yenye walileta juzi. Sasa ile kitu huko tunawaomba kama serikali. Mchukueni vitu la sivyo mtupee yetu ili naye tujikinge na hiyo pia. Kwa sababu tumetoroka ya kutosha.
The only National Police reservist officer who was manning the institution was killed by bandits at the school. A few months ago, the government, through the Ministry of Interior, moved to renovate the school and plastered the classrooms, painted the school and put window panes. However, 2 weeks ago, bandits ambushed the school and broke all the windows and furniture. On Friday, a group of bandits from Lorogon village ambushed the school and stole furniture at the institution.
Sasa hivi hiyo ambao tunapoona namna hiyo nilipomolewa upande ule pia na upande ile zingine zimelingwa na mawe, na hata jana pia meza ikaibiwa hapa na ikapelekwa hiyo kijiji, lakini nashukuru maafisa wa unstocked unit akiongozwa na Inspector Yema walishughulika na chief ya Lorogon kwa kukamata hiyo mhalifu.
Tafadhali serikali, kimbia kwa hii maneno, mkuja muangalie, mtatueni maneno sana. La sivyo mkuja muhamisha sisi West Pokot tuende hapa penye mko. Ndio hii mambo tuone vile itaendelea. Ama mkuja muishi huku sisi tuende. Tafadhali jameni, tumepoteza watu wengi sana kwa sababu ya bunduki. Na bunduki si suluhisho ya maisha. Bunduki inachangia kifo. So muangalie mambo ya bunduki. Kama sisi wa mama tumelia sana. La sivyo wa mama tumekuwa wajane ya kutosha.
Pokot County Commissioner Halif Abdullahi says that he is following up on issues concerning the school. Khalif says that all schools that were shut after being destroyed by bandits in central Pokot sub-county will reopen come January 2025. Other affected schools in the region are Kasas, Pau, Kau, and Takaiwa Primary School.
All right, that story was produced by Andrew Juma and was voiced by Samira Mohammed. Let's continue. Every year, 193,000 babies are born prematurely in Kenya, their births occurring before the completion of 37 weeks of pregnancy. Now, while these babies still have a chance to survive, the burden of intense Medicare required on them is sometimes a tall order for most mothers. And today, as Kenya joins the world in marking Prematurity Day, Anne Odida held conversations with the mothers caring for preterm babies and now tells us the challenges as well as successes in nurturing these babies.
While every expectant mother will look up to a successful completion of the 37 weeks of pregnancy to hold their baby, for some, the end goal shows up much earlier than expected. Welcome to this special newborn unit at the Vihiga County Referral Hospital. Here, I meet Jerida Ayuma, a mother of 4. 2 weeks ago, Jerida, who was only 7 months pregnant at the time, experienced unusual pain, and upon urgent medical investigation, she was informed that her time to deliver had come at only 7 months of pregnancy.
Nilikuwa tu na uchungu kidogo, but nikaenda hospitali niende tu nipimwe juu sikuwa nimetimia wakati wangu. Edit yangu ilikuwa December tarehe 12. Kufika tu hapo, daktari akanipima akaniambia njia ya mtoto imefunguka. Sasa mimi mwenyewe nilishtuka kwa sababu najua tu edit yangu ni tarehe 12. Nilifungua mtoto akakuwa na 920 grams.
Besides Jerida is Grace Karulo, another young mother whose baby was born weighing just 1.6 kilogram before dropping even lower to 1.4 kilogram.
Nilikuwa na hiyo uoga nitabebaje kwa sababu alikuwa mdogo na alikuwa 1.6. Sikuwa nimeifinya maziwa na mkono kupatia mtoto na tube. Najua naingizwa kwa mapua na syringe.
While incubators have been widely embraced in caring for preterm babies, these machines have also been faulted for being a barrier to the bond between the mother and the newborn. Medical professionals now rooting for the kangaroo care, which allows the mother to be in constant contact with the preterm baby, prompting faster development.
Na bora mtoto tu umemcuddle tu hivi. I think that is the way kangaroo works. Unamweka to just keep the baby warm. Hii hati yake na hati yako zigongane. Zikigongana, mtoto anaendelea kuwa. Nao amefikia 17-20 kutoka kwa hiyo 960 gram.
Amelia Ngoda, who is a specialist at the Vihiga County Referral Hospital's newborn unit, says that in the last 1 year, the unit has seen successful growth of over 150 preterm babies through the kangaroo care.
But akiwa hapo kwa ngozi ya mama, hiyo temperature ya mama inasaidia kuregulate temperature ya mtoto. Kwa hivyo mtoto anapata joto ambayo inastahili kwa ajili ya mtoto. Pia mama anafurahia hiyo bonding part of it. Unapata mtoto na mama wako na upendo ambao si wa kawaida kwa wale watoto wengine ambao hawajapitia hali kama hii ya kangaroo mother care.
Statistics from the Ministry of Health have revealed a worrying trend in preterm births in Kenya. Numbers state that every year 193,000 babies are born prematurely, while 13,000 die every year due to premature births-related complications. However, the ministry indicates that multi-sectoral efforts could see the numbers drop soon.
Teenage pregnancies zina contribute sana kwa kuleta watoto wakiwa hawajafikisha siku zao. Kuna wale wamama ambao wako na ujauzito ambao ni watoto wawili ama watatu. Watoto kama hawa mara nyingi wanakuja kabla ya siku zao. Kuna pia magonjwa kama pressure wakati mama ako mjamzito. Unaweza pata mama ni yule wa kutumia pia kinywaji fulani. Mambo kama na hayo, ama wengine wavute sigara.
The World Health Organization is also expressing deep concerns over preterm births globally. In 2020, for instance, 13.4 million preterm babies were born around the world. Additionally, WHO says that prematurity is now the leading cause of death among children under the age of 5 years. WHO insists that governments have to strengthen access to medical care for expectant mothers in order to reduce the figures.
Sometimes ninapofika hapa najukumika kwa ajili ya kushirikiana pamoja na mama ni kwa ajili ya hii kangaroo care.
While Jorida and Grace hold on to the hope that their babies will soon be well and be discharged, they also hope that this year's World Preterm Babies Day shall realize its theme, which is access to quality care everywhere. Anne Odida, TV47, Vihiga.
All right, that report by Anne Odida is taking us to our second short break at this point. Of course, stay tuned, so much more lined up for you.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I have to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side. We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua has launched a book titled Against the Tide, a publication that represents her autobiography outlining her journey of resilience until where she is currently, still full of hopes of soaring even more in so that she can bring into reality the plans she has of bringing transformation to country. Speakers during the event praised Martha for her courage and selfless service to the people during her leadership in different positions, her boldness for Kenyans' right, which led to her being dubbed the Iron Lady, at the same time applauding her for the great support to the less privileged in the society.
So many years up to a point where
this is our country. When we share with each other, we affirm each other, and we have to talk about things happening, the mess there is, and to remember that it is us who are going to work and clear that mess. Nobody else will do it for us. And we have to do it together. And by coming together, whether it's a book launch, a wedding, whatever we can share together so that we encourage one another. And I do hope sincerely that the book will encourage you. It will also give you areas where you say, no, this one, no. So you will avoid the mistakes that I made.
That patriots do not retire when the struggle continues. I believe Mother has heeded this advice as well. She pledges to us and the nation our continued quest for change.
When sometimes we get this narrative of a hard person, or she's the softest, the most kind person, and we are privileged as this country, as a country, to have Honorable Matha Karua.
All right, now I had a sit down with the Iron Lady Martha Karua on the launch of her book Against the Tide, and here's the conversation. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching TV47 Weekend Edition. It is time for To The Point. And today we're very much honored to be in the presence of a very iconic leader who has been a champion for integrity, leadership, equality, and that is none other than Honorable Martha Karua. Now, in her book, Against the Tide, Honorable Karua shares with us her journey, a journey that is paved with conviction, courage, and a vision that has stood the test of time. And right here in her office, we sit down for this exclusive one-on-one interview to hear firsthand the story behind this story and to understand the incredible woman behind the title Against the Tide. This is To The Point. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana. We are very honored to be here.
Asante sana. May I say I like your colors? They look beautiful on you. Yes.
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. So let's just get to the point. Why Against the Tide, and what is the inspiration behind this book?
I think Against the Tide speaks for itself. It's like going against the grain. That really has been my life. The book is just about sharing my experience growing up through my career path, through my professional path, politics, just sharing in the hope that it may affirm, encourage, and I pray inspire someone.
All right, so in this particular book, you've said it's a labor of love. For how long has it been in the kitchen?
I think I don't want to exactly say, but close to a decade, because first I got people to help me to write, but I was unable to connect well with what had been written, got several people to look at it again, eventually sat down to go through chapter by chapter, so as to immerse my voice in the book. Yeah, so it was not been easy, even that.
Right. Yeah. So what is that story specifically about Martha that is, you feel it's so, you are inspiring in your own way, always inspiring, but what is that one particular chapter in this book that you think every Kenyan should also get a touch of?
I think I don't want to pick any one thing, but the book will show that I'm just like anybody else. I'm like any other person brought up in the rural areas. undertaking the chores everybody undertakes in the rural areas. You'll be helping at home, you'll be helping in the shamba, you'll be multitasking, because every girl child there will be carrying, if you're not a last born, you'll be carrying a sibling even before you're strong enough. If there's water to fetch, you'll be fetching it. You'll be walking around the house mirroring your mother. And because you're a child, you will also play just like everybody else. And then about my school life, clashing occasionally with my teachers. I hope that it will inspire parents like me to have more patience with our children, because if it was not for the patience of my parents, then perhaps my education would have been cut short, because I had run-ins here and there with the teachers and coming back. And also to those who are in the teaching profession, that a little patience helps shape your students and helps them to complete successfully, because there are also teachers who are able to help me do that. Yes.
So now that you're talking about your school life and how you were in school, tell us about the character of young Martha in school.
You know, I leave that for you to judge for yourself when you read the book, but I can tell you this for free, that I've always been outspoken. As a child, as a young adult, as a growing up person, and even as a young professional person, and even now in my senior age, I'm still as outspoken as then. I speak my mind, and that does not always sit well with people around you or people who may not like what you're doing, and for teachers that may be confused for rudeness, you know, or I don't know, sometimes, especially the time I grew, even asking too many questions could have been mistaken for rudeness. Asking for justification for something a teacher ordered you to do was considered extreme, you know? So just all those things, yeah. It also gives the young people an inside view of how those days were, yeah.
Did a young Martha ever imagine that she will be here today, this iconic woman that you are today?
Nobody can see the future clearly, but we all aspire. Mm-hmm. I aspired to be a lawyer at some stage, and I didn't know how to say that a lawyer, the person I knew locally closest to law is the local magistrate, who was referred to as judge. So I had aspirations of being a judge, not judge as you know it today, a judicial officer at the courts upcountry, the magistrate. So that was the judge in my head. And at some stage in secondary school, I did aspire to be member of parliament, but not with intensity, just jokingly pronouncing it to a classmate of mine, whom I lost touch with from Kandara. I hope she gets to see this. And Damaris, if you're somewhere, give me a shout sometime. Because I remember when I was in Form 3, Form 4, telling Damaris that she will be the member for Kandara, while I'll be the member for Kirinyaga East. That was the name of Geshogo then. I used to listen to Bunge, Leo Katika Bunge. And I think I was interested in the debates. And therefore, I did dream, but playfully, that one day I'll be member for Geshogo. So we are told what you confess with your mouth
is what you become.
Yeah. So it later came to be. But I was always interested in debate, in current affairs and all that.
So you've also been a champion for justice and democracy in this country. Did you ever tire at any point of fighting?
Not really, because it's about me and you. It's about protecting your space. Even when you fight for human rights of others, you're fighting for your own human rights. Because if we do not call out authorities when they violate people's rights, you are laying the ground for your own rights to be violated, or the rights of somebody close to you. So I like to think of the saying, and I believe this saying in most of our languages. We say it in vernacular that when you do good, you do unto yourself. When you do bad, you do unto yourself. Weka wega, niwe weka. I'm talking pure Gishugu. Weka oru niwe weka, you know. So I believe that by advocating for everybody to be treated fairly, you basically are also advocating for a fair environment for everyone, you included. Yeah.
So how have you been able to manage motherhood in this very demanding career?
I don't know. I can't say that it's the things that interest me, and maybe who I was raised as and have become. I'm a person who won't sit still when things around me are in chaos. I will try to organize. And I can give the analogy of a chaotic house. When you enter even your own house, even when you have people working for you, you will not call them to pick maybe a cup or a plate in the wrong place, or to ask why it is there. You pick and then ask. Yani, you'll organize first and then ask why was it there in the first place. So long as there is need for getting it done, I will find myself there. Not asking for who will do it, doing it while asking where are people so that we organize this mess. This country is in a mess. And as Kenyans, we need to contribute to organizing it. Throughout my growing up during the KANU era, during the Kibaki era when we entered government, I have always been a part of wanting to set things right, because Kenya is my home. I give it the analogy of the house. So long as you see some work, and even now in my senior age, I'm seeing so much that needs to be done. I want to be a part for it. I am part of it because I belong to this house, and I'm looking for others so that we do it together. Nobody will ever organize the space you are in for you. We must organize it together. You must be part of it. And they say be part of the change you want to see.
All right. So you've been here for all these seasons of leadership. What has changed from the moment Jomo Kenyatta took power? What has changed up until this point?
A lot has. And now we are in a period of recession where we seem to be going in the reverse gear. There was that dark period, we've referred to it as a dark period, when democracy was literally eclipsed. We became legally a one-party state again. There was total intolerance of people with divergent opinion. Then the clamor for multipartyism, a lot of repression, killings, people disappearing, so there was abductions. And then also detention without trial. Imagine a government that has detention without trial but still finds it necessary to eliminate. Terrible. That's why that period is referred to as the dark era. Then we get the Constitution. When Kibaki came, even before the Constitution, there was respect for the rule of law and human rights. Then still within the Kibaki era, recession of democracy, violation of human rights, and then enters the 2010 Constitution. And when I talk of the violation of rights in the Kibaki era, is more after the failed referendum. You remember the way the Mungiki were dealt with, and then the post-election violence, where rights are violated, not just by government agencies, but by sections of the opposition, people who are unhappy with the election results. Then there are retaliations by supporters of the government. So wenyewe kwa wenyewe. So that's the part in Kibaki era when the human rights records deteriorated. Then comes the 2010 Constitution. And we are all very hopeful that we are building a new Kenya. Since 2013, instead of building upon that foundation laid, we have seen gradual erosion of the very dream and aspirations of the people in the Constitution. But the dark era is the Ruto administration. that now has returned us beyond Moi's dark era or Kanu's dark era. This is the darkest. The number of deaths, and we don't know, those are the ones that have been reported. Falsification of records at the mortuary by police, where they record someone shot by themselves as a road traffic accident. The number of unknown dead bodies, because they don't want to reveal they are the culprits, until we have seen the city mortuary now starting to reject the deaths. They also feel it's too much. We may never know the number of the dead. So this indeed is the dark era. The dark era where peaceful demonstrators who have nothing, no arms on their hands, who are peaceful and are proud to be Kenyans, they are patriotic and are wearing the flag, gunned to death. And we don't know the number. Recorded 61, but people missing, and bodies, unclaimed bodies. Bodies even in Aquaria dump site. Bodies everywhere. Which I hope one day we will get to know the numbers. So we are back to the dark era. So I'm telling my story. And work is not done, fellow Kenyans. We still have a lot to do. We still have a lot of mess to clear around us. And we must not let Kenya settle into this very dark era where the truth, the Constitution, our values have been eclipsed by Ruto and his cronies. Yeah.
We're also seeing rising cases of femicide in the country now that we're talking about the number of people being killed. Women are losing their lives. So how can we best address these cases, and how did we get here?
Like Abel in the Bible and Esau, we should never say, I do not know where my brother or sister is. Be your brother, your sister's keeper. Shout, scream when people are being abducted, and I'm seeing that a lot in the social media. Let us all join hands looking for those who are abducted. Look for help, whether online or anywhere else. And I know those who are looking for help, Kenyans are coming together to shout, and Kenyans have rescued many. We have been unable to rescue maybe many more, because unless if you have a person near you who highlights what is happening to you, we may not be able to rescue. But we can stop the many ills happening. We can stop the corruption, the hemorrhage of our hard-earned taxes. We can reject the shambolic Shah, or is it sheaf? We even don't know what animal that is. We can restore access to health. We can refuse reforms, in quotes, in the education sector, new funding model which is not well thought out. We can reject takeover of our premier gateway by the Adani Group. We can refuse all those opaque and corrupt things by being able to come together, shout, and resist. And resisting is not only by offering people's chests to be shot by this bloodthirsty administration. We can innovate and find many ways. None of us, even as politicians, foresaw the beautiful work that the Gen Z did. They mobilized digital mobilization that really worked. We can reimagine, we can do greater things.
Now we have the Gen Zs here, you've mentioned them, and that is, I was coming to that. So they've come here with their tagline, revolution, they're revolutionizing the country. And you are very passionate about integrity. So how can they live up to these standards of integrity now that they're looking up to what has already been set up for them by the people who walked this journey?
We can multiply and enhance what the Gen Z have already done, laid a foundation for this conversation. Because I tell you, none of us politicians would have been able to take on the religious institutions the way the Gen Z did, because you fear that they'll gang up and campaign against you. But by saying occupy the churches, they helped us to focus on corruption going on and churches being turned into corruption sites by us politicians, with the acquiescence, of course, of religious leaders. And you remember even a few Harambes had been cancelled. We are picking up the habit again, and slowly we are going back. It's time for us to reimagine, move their revolutionary spirit forward, not backwards, and many, many other things. And you've seen a lot of them also moving on the issue of accountability and the lies being spilled. We'll build this stadium, you'll do what? I'll single out the work done by Morara Kebaso, or a young man like Eric Omondi, and many, many others who are giving the facts as they are. Kenyans have always known, but it is so much better when there is demonstration and when you can see for yourself the place where you've been told there will be something and there is nothing yet money has been spent. There are so many people with innovation on the digital space. People, posting podcasts of the things that are happening, things that are being done, complementing the mainstream media. The digital space is a space to watch, and that's one of the ways we can innovate. We can increase. Kenyans have already innovated. Increase that innovation to defeat the oppression being visited upon us by the Ruto regime.
All right, now are you mentoring any young people into leadership and taking up space?
There are two ways of mentoring. By people walking along with you as you do the things you're doing. And yes, of course, I'm doing that because even within the party space, within the social space, we have a lot of young people.
Awesome. Now, Mheshimiwa, you have a masterclass. What is it about?
I will say I have not started a Matha Karua masterclass as yet, but I went as a guest for a masterclass by the CTA, by Njao. Richard Jao, a very, very promising Kenyan and very innovative one, where the masterclass was about my memoir. So I went in as a guest, and I want to thank him because that was like a mini launch. The launch of my memoir is this Sunday. That was a soft launch.
Powerful close, but I have now a final question. I would love to get your opinion on the notion good girls don't get the corner office.
I haven't read the book. I'll tell you that straight away. But I'll tell you it is true. You will not do much by being a good girl, in quotes. Do what pleases you, so long as you are convinced you're doing the right thing, even if in the eyes of the others you're branded a bad person. It's always been my mantra. If I have to look bad or to be bad in the eyes of some, in order to accomplish my job, then I want to be very bad. Yeah. And to accomplish my job.
So I don't know if I should ask you this question to just wind up, but who is the target audience for Against the Tide?
I think everyone. I am sharing me with you because the me you know is what is projected by the media. It will be mainly the hard tackles, calling out of the government, maybe disagreements in the political arena, but the book takes you through many phases of me. I'm just like you. I have happy moments, I have sad moments, I have moments where we'll be fighting over space. I'm an all-rounder. And even for you, the face you wear to a funeral is not the same face you wear to a wedding. You have moments of grief, you have vulnerabilities. We even have moments as human beings we stumble, but we must pick up the pieces and move. Dust yourself and move. We have to be resilient. So the book lets you, shares with you, me, the real me, not just that part you may have learned in the media.
All right. Thank you so much once again. I've said thank you almost a million times because we're very, very grateful to be here today. So that is To the Point. We were talking to Honorable Martha Karua on the launch of her book, Against the Tide. This is just a snippet of that book, and we hope that you will be sure to grab yourself.
All right, there you have it, a snippet of the book Against the Tide, a memoir by Honorable Matha Karua, speaking about her resilience, her courage, and a vision that has stood the test of time. We're taking a very short break at this point. Sports is up next.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange na ambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya. Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Jabsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side. We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.